Golf has a way of slowing life down. And when life slows down, conversations often go deeper. Because if you're like me, every round's filled with plenty of bogeys, but every day is filled with so many blessings. We can learn from both of those. I'm Justin Whaley. This is Bogeys and Blessings, a place where we're going to talk about golf, life, faith, and all the moments in between that shape us. So let's tee it up today. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of Bogeys and Blessings. Today's episode is the Kingdom Mulligan, a Sage Valley story. Amazing Grace was playing over the loudspeakers that day. I had no idea God was about to give me a Kingdom Mulligan. If you've ever been to Sage Valley, what a beautiful place you know it is. And if you haven't, I hope that some point in your life you get to experience it. One of the really cool things that they do every morning there is they play Amazing Grace over the speakers on property. And that morning, as I was leaving breakfast, walking the path up toward the driving range, Amazing Grace was playing. It was one of those moments where you just stop and you take it in. I literally felt the presence of the Holy Spirit. What a beautiful place, what a beautiful piece of nature, a beautiful piece of property that had been crafted into what it was. And yet a beautiful song like that playing on the golf course as you're about to go play golf. And that was the start of what I thought was going to be an incredible day of golf. I was on a club trip with 11 other guys. We'd played I think 3 rounds already on that trip. That was our 4th round. But out of all of the places that we were getting to play that week, one of the ones that I was most looking forward to was the day at Sage Valley. And I think as golfers, we all have things that aesthetically appear to us. I mean, some people really love, links golf like played over in Scotland and Ireland. And some people love the really new, westernized golf. For me, I like just really green, plush, tree-lined places, and Sage Valley is one of those. When I got to the range that morning, one of the other cool things that they have at Sage Valley is it's a walking-only course, which there are very few courses in America that you really get to go and you get to walk and enjoy the day and kind of go at a slower pace than you typically go. But they have a caddy, and not only do they have caddies, it's a single caddy for a single bag, not a caddy that double bags. When I got to the range that day, I met my caddy. His name was Jeff Phillips, and man, what an awesome, genuine guy Jeff was. We bonded pretty quickly. We were talking about life. We were laughing. We were having a great time before the round even started. Everything just felt great and exactly as it was supposed to that morning. The round started out great. Again, for those of you that may have been there, and if you haven't, you can Google this. It's a fairly famous picture. If you Google Sage Valley, is the picture of the first tee lining down the fairway, and it's one of the most beautiful places that you could ever imagine. And it was time for me to tee it up, so I stick the tee in the ground, grab the driver, and luckily just strap it right down the middle of the fairway, which is fairly rare, but it did. We slowly walked to the ball. We were still talking, just kind of chatting it up, having a good time. He tells me what the yardage is, and I pull the club and hit it. Crisp iron shot right onto the green, 2 putts for par. I mean, what a great way to start a round. But something happened. Somewhere around the 4th hole, I literally lost my ability to play golf. It was really weird. It happens to us all, I think, as golfers sometimes, but for some reason that day, I don't know what it was. I think ultimately looking back, it was the Lord kind of speaking to me and giving me an opportunity to kind of be molded through a round of golf. But for whatever reason, man, I forgot how to swing. I had bad drives. Had terrible iron shots. I had no touch around the greens, and the scores were just adding up. I mean, it was just one awful shot after another, and if you play any golf at all, I'm sure you know that feeling, and it stinks. The round was just slowly starting to slip away for me. But here's the thing. I didn't get mad. I didn't throw clubs. But something happened inside of me. The more the round went on, the quieter I became. Jeff was doing his best caddying job probably of the year, to try to keep the round light, to help me stay positive, to give me tips, to be an encourager. But instead of leaning into that, I just completely withdrew. I started pulling inward. I stopped talking. I just got quiet. By the time we walked off the 18th green, I just knew something wasn't right. I felt bad, and it had nothing to do with my score. I don't want to tell you what I shot that day. It's kind of embarrassing. But my feeling had nothing to do with my score by the time I finished the round. During the round, I thought everything had to do with my score. When I walked off the 18th green and I figured it out, what was wrong was something was wrong with my heart. The more I thought about it, the more I realized what had actually happened. Somewhere during that round, I let my identity be tied to my golf that day. I think this is also something that all golfers can relate to. Instead of remembering who I was and remembering how incredibly blessed I was to be at a place like Sage Valley, of all places I could have been playing golf that day, I let the results of my swings determine my attitude that day. And that's when something else really important hit me. If you were to go and you were to ask our two kids today, what is something that they remember that we tried to instill in them when they were facing adversity as they were growing up? And I can guarantee you that they would tell you two things. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control your attitude and your effort. Nobody else is in control of that. We're the ones that are in control of that. But the truth is, that day on the golf course, I shanked it. I failed at that very thing that we had constantly tried to instill in them. I missed an opportunity to show up and to allow other people to see me that had just met me for the first time, to see what it could look like to follow Jesus when things aren't going your way. And again, I shanked it. I think as golfers, we all know that feeling too. I just shut down. That realization hit me hard. And when I left Sage Valley, I just felt like, man, I just blew it. Honestly, I felt ashamed. When I got home, I talked to my wife, Juliana, about this ad nauseum. I mean, it was literally, I think, eating me from the inside. I kept thinking about Jeff. I kept thinking, I was listening to Satan's words that weren't true, that I blew it, and that I was a failure and all those kind of things. And even though I knew that that wasn't true, I knew the truth is that I did have an opportunity that I did miss. And man, something in me was just longing for a redo, that I wish I could have lived that over. Thinking about how I wish I could go back and do it differently, but life usually don't give us mulligans. But something incredible happened. And that's a whole nother long story in itself, but suffice it to say that the short story is that probably a month later, my wife and I got invited to go back over to Sage Valley, and we spent a weekend over there getting to play golf and enjoying each other. We arrive on property, we do the tour, we go to dinner that night, we have a great dinner, we go back to the cottage and we just hang out. Like it was just a special a moment. The next morning we got up, we went to breakfast, leaving the clubhouse, we're walking up to the driving range. Guess what happens? Amazing Grace is playing. It gives me chills like thinking about it. We walk around the practice putting green and we're just about to crest the hill up to be at the top of the driving range. And I'll be darned, divinely orchestrated. Who's my caddy that day? Jeff Phillips. You got it. The moment I saw him, I felt something in me that I can't really describe exactly what the feeling is, but I knew that God had given me an opportunity that I didn't deserve. He gave me a Kingdom Mulligan. Right there on the range, as I walked up to Jeff, I said, man, I need to tell you the truth about something. I said, I'm sorry. When I was here a month or so ago, I said, you didn't get the best version of me. And it had everything to do with how I played, but that's not who I am as a person. Golf is really not that important to me at the end of the day, but like I just let it get to me. But I looked him in the eyes and I said, man, please forgive me. I said, I want to go have a good day together. From that moment on, we had an incredible day. The funny part is I did play better that day. It still wasn't the greatest round of golf, but it was one of the best rounds of golf I've ever been associated with. Like, man, it was heart therapy. And God showed me that this was way more than about my score, that my identity is not tied to how well I play golf, that my identity is in Him and it's in Him alone. It doesn't matter whether I'm on the golf course, whether I'm parenting, whether I'm at work, no matter where I am. God gave me a chance to step back into a moment that I thought I had missed. But the best part of the day was I got to experience that with my wife, Juliana, my best friend. And in that day, she shot the best round of golf she had ever shot in her life. Like, it was an incredible, amazing experience. The words that I find are amazing, but honestly, it was amazing grace. And if that's not grace and redemption story on full display, I'm not sure what it is. So before we finish today's round, let's aim at the flagstick. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old is gone and the new is here. That is the heart of the gospel. God doesn't just forgive us. He restores us. He redeems us. And sometimes He even gives us the chance to step back in a moment we thought we missed and give us a kingdom mulligan. So here's the final putt for today. Where in your life might God be giving you a kingdom mulligan? Or where is it that you might like to have a kingdom mulligan? Pray about it. Thanks for joining us today. For our next episode, you'll hear the Cabo story again, but this time it's going to be from my good friend Mike Chuba's perspective, the moment he decided to give his life to Christ. I'm Justin Whaley, and this is Bogeys and Blessings. However you found us, we're grateful you did. Until next time, may your bogeys turn into blessings.